Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, please subscribe. I'd really love that. If you're returning, how you doing? Grab your coffee, maybe a snack. Preferably chocolate cake. I could really go for some chocolate cake with chocolate ice cream. I'm on a roll. So, this subscriber, she got a hold of me. She's like, listen to this. My daughter, she stopped at Taco Bell to get something to eat because she's a busy mom and she's on the go constantly. And she was on the go all day, so she was hungry, so she stopped, right? And she said, Mom, she's like, usually I eat healthier, but I was starving. Who hasn't been there? Who hasn't been hangry? Okay. Yeah. So she said, I figured I'd stop for a quick bite before I went home to resume my busy schedule. So she attached some pictures because you got to see this, right? She said, I've attached a few choices she was given as they were out of most of all the selections, and also a picture of the sign that's on the window. She also cringed because the meal that was usually $8.99, bad enough, is now $13. Needless to say, she's not going to be going there anymore for a variety of reasons. So it seems the shortages are really starting to spread and take down more businesses sooner. Less jobs then, and of course affecting the middle class workers even more. This was in Fort Myers, Florida. So the first picture was of a text message, okay? And the text message says, I tried to order advertised nacho fries box. It's unavailable. Then I tried to order the cheesy gordita crunch box. Unavailable. Along with anything grilled. Finally, I'm able to order the chalupa box. Then she gets up to the window. This is a sign that's up in the window. Sorry if we can't feed your current crave. Due to national ingredient shortages and delivery delays, we may be out of some food and beverage items. We apologize for the inconvenience. Oh my God. All right, so I got a few more things to show you before I get into what I really want to talk about, okay? And this subscriber, she said, strange thing happened at Amazon last week. I ordered those 9x13 aluminum pans, you know, the ones that we get during the holidays, right? There's 25 and they all come with lids. She said for this, she gets these for when her husband does the barbecuing in the summer, stuff like that. She said, I got an email from Amazon that said my shipment was delayed because it was held up in customs at UPS. Customs? Very strange. Doesn't everything come from the big C to be held up at customs for a week? Huh. All right. So, anyway, she goes on to say, I got Augason Farms spinach and green peas at a good price from Amazon, but the prices, they are fluctuating. So keep a watch on Amazon. Yeah. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'll leave links in the description box below if you would like to order the spinach and the green peas from Augason Farms. Okay, I'll do that for you. So it's just, it's getting out of hand. Everything is just, everything's out of hand. I don't know if you've I'm sure you've noticed because I bring it to your attention. Anyway, this subscriber says, and what she's doing, her and her husband, they're doing it the smart way, and I'll show you why. She said, our Sam's is selling 2 packs of 18-count eggs for $11.29. My husband, who always says, you can't stop living just because the price goes up a little. It has tripled since November. He is now suggesting that we cut back on egg use. Cut back? Amen. Being a type 1 diabetic, I don't do a lot of carbs. Wish I could raise chickens, but we live in a neighborhood with a covenant. So they got a rabbit. Not too bad. All right, here's a picture of the rabbit. So cute. Okay, so you're going to want to listen to this. This subscriber said, I was just doing some checking on people reporting the Ball canning lid failures. And I ended up on the Ball website. And I saw that they have decided to join the UN and their 2030 goals with an update as of April 15th of 2022. Before I go into that, she said, I'll go over what I found on the lid failures. Many of us have been canning for years and not had any issues. This is true. We've only recently started having issues with the lids. The issue started when they came out with their new short, tight lids in 2017, and that's when most of the complaints started. We have been noticing the lids are rusting, lids are losing their seal, the red rubber parts sometimes have gaps where it wasn't added all the way around the lids. Supposedly, they've previously only recommended keeping food in jars for 12 months. Amen. Even though food lasted many years, sometimes decades, without losing the seal. Now they've extended it to be 18 months. I've seen where the seals are failing anywhere from a few hours after canning right up to close to 12 months storage mark. People on one site, one after another, stating their jars take overnight to seal. They don't ping with the seal, and there are black marks in the crevices of the lids when they open, and they use what they canned, and the lids come off without prying them open. And on with the complaints about how they don't work like they used to, and people are begging them to go back to the old lids. This includes Ball, Kerr, Bernardin, which are all made by Ball, with their parent company being Noel. I think I'm only going to be using Ball lids for dry storage, and only use the ones I sell on my website for actual canning, so I know they will seal. The new lids claim new features of double tin plate coating and additional rust resistant for storage life for unused lids for up to 5 years from purchase, and a guarantee of a seal that lasts up to 18 months. The last one is the way they get out of being liable for jars losing their seal after 3 weeks. Then there's this comment from someone in 2017 stating that you cannot sterilize the new lids. If you do, they will not seal. It's not the first time I've heard that either. So you can use them only once, throw them away in the trash. They only hold their seal 18 months. The older the lids, how the seal much better. Yeah, I know. And Ball claims the failures of their short, tight lids are due to using untested recipes, not following recommended processing methods, and adjusting the screw bands after processing, and not leaving correct headspace. Bull. I call BS on every one of their excuses. Absolutely, so do I. How can they expect people that have been canning for decades to fall for this? Well, of course we're not going to fall for it. We're not sheeple. Are we, Bug? No, we're not. The fact is, they have reduced the quality of their product. They don't care if we have food that goes bad because of their lack of quality. And now, seeing that they have joined the UN, I can see why. They have turned globalist, and we're all in the globalist agenda. Right on. They announced on their website that they have recently joined the UN Global Compact. They claim that they support human rights, labor, the environment, the anti-corruption, and they are part of the global community of like-minded companies working to do good. I don't know what they consider to be good, but the UN is full of just the opposite. They go on to brag about the sustainable goal of the 17 priorities of the UN, their goals to achieve by 2030. Gee, think that year might sound familiar for some other things I've heard about. Insert sarcasm. Oh, and I almost forgot. They're bragging about an aluminum cup they've created to keep drinks cold when you're done. Oh, gee whiz. Just put it in the recycle bin so it can be recycled again and again. And if your area even participates, because many do not, because of a cost of a lot of money and requires a lot of toxic chemicals to melt things down to reform it into something else, I'm not sure why they don't tell you to just keep reusing it, since it's a cup that can be washed. Not very sustainable, if you ask me. About being made of aluminum isn't very sustainable anyway. After all, it's considered a heavy metal that is about able to cross the blood-brain barrier and be one of the contributors of Alzheimer's. Has been linked to autism in children, and with certain, because they added into most of those too. Plus, it's said to be one of the ingredients sprayed into the sky when we see the trails hours after a plane has flown by. So she left links. They'll be in the description box below for you, like I always do, because it's important, you know. Oh boy, I'll tell you. So listen to this. This is a short email that was sent to me to let us know, and to let all of you know, that you can make your own oat flour with oatmeal. I have a Vitamixer, she says, but a regular mixer will work as well. Use a high-speed blender to grind the rolled oats into a fine powder. Scrape down the side in between pulses, but this should only take about 60 seconds based on the speed and power of your blender. 1 1/4 cup of rolled oats should yield about 1 cup of finely ground oat flour. Keep prepping and God bless. Well, thank you, sweetheart. That's amazing information that you just told us. I love it. So, this subscriber said, getting in self-checkout lines, still nervous from all the things I've heard on your channel. Oh, I'm sorry, sweetheart. About people saying that you guys have limits. Yes, we have limits at our stores, yeah. I have picked up 2 cases of Augason Farm meat, 1 case beef, 1 case pork, and then 9 loose cans of beef, as well as 6 containers of water and 2 things of iDOO milk. Needless to say, getting up to the register, it says 20 items or less. My cans are in a case. I counted each one as 1, not 12 individual units, which is in each case, which made everything well over 20 things. I had to go to a regular line, feeling pretty perturbed at this moment. So as I'm unloading my cart, I had a very friendly cashier, thankfully. Yep, got the 2 cases of meat, 2.5 gallons of water, 2 iDOO milk. I felt really accomplished. Yay me. Now try to find a place for all this stuff. Oh, Keystone. Okay. Okay. She got Keystone meat. Nice. Okay. I can't get Keystone meat around here. Not in my stores. Beautiful stuff. Awesome. All right, have you guys been on Augason Farms' actual website lately? I have, and so is the subscriber. When you go to their actual website, you get this that pops up. But if you go onto the actual page, you will start to see that everything is out of stock. All right, now for this. This is what I really wanted to talk about. All right. Never mind cancel culture. There's a looming threat to our global freedom and democracy that far outshadows this sometimes righteous indignation of a small but vocal minority of outraged Twitter users, but I refer to them as the twits on Twitter. Imagine experiencing depersonhood by an elite-controlled algorithm. Despite all of our supposed technological progress. In the 21st century, much of our top human talent has been wasted on creating dehumanizing forms of technology such as like CCTV, facial recognition, voice recognition, digital fingerprinting, IoT surveillance, DNA banking, GPS tracking, credit scoring, non-anonymized computer data harvesting, biometric under-the-skin information, heart rate, body heat monitoring, digital surveillance, currencies, blah, 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 blah. These dehumanizing technologies are now coming together to create the ultimate weapon for subduing humanity to the will of the powerful few. Social credit systems. Here's how to destroy humanity in one generation. 1. Make it easy and convenient for your citizens to surrender over vast amounts of information about themselves. 2. Create a to pronounce this word with my accent, panopticon surveillance state that gathers data or spies on you, your citizens, all the time. Number 3, eliminates everyone who doesn't obey to the letter. Now, in China, good citizens. Okay. Now let's note that the abuse of language and manipulative use of morality, can boost their social credit scores by doing good things, like listening to a speech by the CCP, which further entrenched the dehumanization machine. What is the reward for such behavior, you ask? Well, you get to live free a little bit longer. But once all the baddies, like people like you and me, people who want to be free, people who, want to be self-sustainable, us, have been removed from society, it's only a matter of time before the purest of the anti. In the end, humans are imperfect, and our lack of Pharisee, like purity, will cause all to fall in time. On the other hand, doing bad things, like associating with free thinkers, how dare we? Forgetting to sort your recycling, using a VPN, or speaking out against injustice can get you in all sorts of trouble. Shame, shame, know your name. You'll be stuck with grindingly slow internet speeds. Your kids won't be admitted to good schools or be allowed to attend university. You won't be able to take flights or buy train tickets. You won't be allowed into certain restaurants. Your health care will be downgraded. You won't qualify for a loan or a mortgage. You can't own your own property. You'll be banned from renting in certain buildings. You'll be fired from your job. You won't be able to get another job. You'll lose access to certain financial services, and you'll lose total economic participation. In other words, if you aren't perfectly aligned with the elite powers, this new dehumanizing machine will steal your time, your money, your freedom, and eventually your entire life. And let's not pretend for a moment that these millions of people are genuine criminals. No. They haven't performed civic atrocities or real crimes against humanity. People are losing points for being late to pay taxes or license fees or even loitering or the right to stand or not visiting your parents enough. You lose your points if you don't do that. Or consider this. Social credit systems aren't a kindly and encouraging nudge towards communal cooperation. They're criminal coercion, an authoritarian, anti-human purge of free thinkers, in which only the good ones survive. The enactment of a social credit system is a totalitarian war crime. Now, as far as America's social credit system, because I know you were waiting for that, Americans willingly hand over more information on themselves than anyone in history. Think about Facebook, Twitter. Okay. How many times do you know of somebody who goes on Facebook and says they check in every time they go to Walmart, Target, this restaurant or that restaurant or this or that? They check in when they go to the doctor's office. Right? They take pictures of their food. Look what I'm eating. Okay. They freely give up their voice ID and allow all conversations to be surveilled by Alexa, Google, Nest, smart fridges. I don't have any of these items, do you? No. They freely give up their location data via their cell phones, map apps, smart cars. I turn off location on my cell phone. You don't need to know where I'm at. They freely give up their biometric data via wearable and health apps. You don't need to know my blood pressure. You don't need to know shite. They freely give up their facial ID and fingerprints to unlock their phones. Nay, you'll never catch me doing that. They freely give up their banking details and personal information via social media, free email, and a plethora of apps. Shame, shame. They also elect Democrats, Republicans, two corporate corrupted parties that continue to increase surveillance by backdooring phones, installing facial recognition CCTVs, and trade surveillance with other nations through deals like Five Eyes. Now, Rona, it ramped up, right? Big money's moved to a cashless society, sounding for veritable death knell for personal privacy and economic freedom as we know it, right? With so much data readily available and growing by the day, pieces of the future Western social credit infrastructure have already fallen into place. Now, credit scores dehumanize people by allowing algorithms to approve or deny people in need of a loan. Renter blacklists dehumanize people. You know, like if you've ever been evicted, that'll blacklist you right away, right? By allowing extractive landlords to rank tenants to keep people out of buildings. Customer rating algorithms like Uber dehumanize people by reducing users to 1 star if they're having the worst day of their life. to 5 stars if they paste on a fake dehumanizing smile to pretend to be friendly. Yeah. The Canadian government is denying university accreditation and defunding charities who don't live up to their moral code. Squeeze me? Germany uses credit ratings, geolocations, and health records to determine access to health care. The United Kingdom is taking steps towards rationing healthcare based on app data. And people are being fired from media companies and universities. Social media companies are blacklisting people. Banks are closing personal and corporate accounts. And none of these victims went on trial before a jury of their peers, and none had the right of protest or defense. They were convicted by machines. Machines. Now, how bad can it get? If the case of Europe's Jewish, deadly. In the case of the Xinjiang, I know I didn't pronounce that correctly, deadly. First comes societal exclusion. 75% of Brits say they would cut contact with anyone who would lower their social credit score and is in isolation, the ultimate dehumanizing action, but never mind not being able to attend concerts, sporting events, and other assemblies. Next comes economic exclusion, automatically grinding once productive people into poverty. Once dehumanizing takes hold, people become undesirables. It's just a small step into the gulags and gas chambers. It's disgusting. Are you ready? Because it's coming. It is. Sorry. Hate to be the bearer of bad news, but it's the truth. And you guys come here for the truth, right? All right, guys, I'm out of here. I love you. I'll see you in the next one. You stay safe. You stay positive. You keep prepping. And as always, fearless, right?